Facebook is continuing its multi-billion-dollar buying spree. This time it's the messaging app WhatsApp in one of the biggest social media deals ever. With the latest on the deal, Mark New joins us now live from San Francisco. Mark?
And that's right. It is indeed a massive deal. $4 billion in cash, $12 billion in stock, and $3 billion in restricted shares for a grand total of $19 billion. If you're wondering how many people get to share in that stash, WhatsApp has just 55 employees. That values WhatsApp at more than half the value of Twitter. That's left many wondering, what's up with paying so much for WhatsApp?
It's a simple messaging app produced in Mountain View, California, and utilized by 450 million active users around the world.
When you do have family overseas, which I do, it's really convenient to be able to text them.
Just to keep in contact with my cousins in India, get in touch with all my friends abroad.
When I first saw the news, I was very surprised, and I'm still a bit stunned.
Gartner Research Director Brian Blau says $19 billion is a hefty price tag, though Facebook is getting the fastest growing pure-play messaging app in the world.
There is Facebook Messenger, which does compete with WhatsApp, but this is really now going to be able to help them expand and capture customers that are potentially valuable for them in the future because they're very highly engaged. It's very interesting to be able to add hundreds of millions of active users into the Facebook ecosystem.
WhatsApp is free for the first year and then charges 99 cents per year after that. Co-founder Jan Koum has long pledged to keep the service ad-free. On his blog, he emphasized that nothing would change. It's a philosophy photo app Instagram also shared before joining Facebook.
And in the beginning, the leader at Instagram, Kevin, came out and said, we're not going to do advertising. And about a year and a half later, then they're all of a sudden introducing ads. So I think it's a great mantra to hold up, but as things go and as technology companies mature, they can't continue to offer these services for free.
With the big purchase, Facebook immediately takes out one of its leading competitors in instant messaging. It also better equips founder Mark Zuckerberg to take on the popular messaging service Snapchat, which reportedly turned down a $3 billion offer from Facebook. In his own post, Zuckerberg said Facebook Messenger would continue as normal because it serves a different audience. He also says more than 1 million people sign up for WhatsApp every day.
When you add up the numbers, Facebook is essentially valuing each WhatsApp user at about $42. Facebook is also pretty confident that this deal will go through. If this deal should somehow fail to gain regulatory approval, Facebook has agreed to still pay WhatsApp $1 billion in cash plus $1 billion in Facebook shares. Not a bad deal. WhatsApp will continue to operate in its Mountain View office, separate from Facebook. WhatsApp CEO Jan Koum will also be joining Facebook's board of directors. Anand.
Mark, tell us a little bit more about WhatsApp and now their very extremely wealthy founders.
Now, let's just say that the American dream is alive and well, at least in this story. The co-founder of WhatsApp is 37-year-old Jan Koum, a Ukrainian immigrant who came to the U.S. when he was 16 years old. It was a tough life. In fact, he and his family lived on food stamps, and the place they picked up those food stamps at is only a couple blocks away from the Mountain View offices of WhatsApp. Forbes estimated that Koum owns about a 45% stake in WhatsApp, so needless to say, he's pretty set. And for his co-founder, Brian Acton, he owns about a 20% stake. He was Yahoo's 44th employee, and after that, he applied for a job at guess who? Facebook. And guess what? They turned him down. Let that be motivation for anyone who is having trouble landing their dream job. Anand.
Mark, here's the challenge for Facebook right now. How does it monetize this acquisition? How does it start making money out of this, recoup its investment, and then start making a profit?
Well, that's a million-dollar question. What is going to happen? Both Facebook and WhatsApp, the founders on their site said that they're not going to change anything. But as we talked to the analyst Brian Blau from Gartner, that was the same case as Instagram, and suddenly they changed it later. They've been pretty clear on saying they're not going to, but they've got to find ways to integrate and monetize and use Facebook's knowledge of monetizing and the pressure that's been placed on them by shareholders to produce. So, if they can stick to that line, that'll be pretty interesting, and not advertising, but they've got to find other ways of monetizing, perhaps by in-app purchases or other services that they have to, that customers will have to pay for, because just charging 99 cents a year for a customer probably isn't going to cut it in the long run.
That's a long way to $19 billion. Thanks, Mark. Mark New there from San Francisco.